Hey guys, Unblessed Data here with a new review. We got Walking Dead Season 3, Episode 1. That's right, all that hype, all that waiting, was it worth it? Did it live up to its name? We're gonna find out right now. Before I go any further, guys, just want to let you know that this review is actually going to contain tons of spoilers. So go watch the episode. You can find it anywhere on the internet, and come back, and you can hear my thoughts on this episode. So let's get right into it. Was this premiere, the season premiere, was it the best season premiere? Well, in my opinion, no. I'm going to say it's not. I really liked season's 2 premiere better. That's just my opinion. I don't know. I thought it was cool. The season 2 had a different feel to it. This season has a totally different feel. But I really did like the second one better. But this one, I say, is very good also. It comes just short of it. I think this was a great episode. So, there is a new intro for actually the beginning of it, like, there's a new intro, because obviously Shane's dead, so, they're not going to have the same intro with the actor that plays Shane there, so they had a new intro, and it didn't show any of the actors' faces, which I found kind of weird. It was just, like, environment kind of things, like, everything run down and stuff, and it just had the actors' names. It didn't have the same feel as the first intro, but I still liked it. Same music too, so love that music, by the way. But yeah, so new intro, pretty cool. So how did it start off? This episode started off really nice. For the first 5 minutes of this episode, there was complete silence. There wasn't any, no one talked, and it gave it such a chilling tone right at the start, and you knew that this episode was going to be awesome. Just from the start, just from that silence, you knew it was so tense that it just gave it such a cool feeling right at the beginning. And it was actually right at the beginning said that winter has already passed in the show. So about 8 months have passed from season 2 finale. So that's quite a while, and you can tell this right away on the characters. They actually have, their beards are a lot longer, hair's a lot longer. Even if you look at Herschel, when you first see him in the episode, his hair's a lot longer and his beard is grown out, and he almost looks like a different character almost. But the most apparent thing that 8 months have passed is when you look at Lori. She's actually, you can really tell she's pregnant. Her stomach is huge, and it actually looks kind of funny. I don't think that they're gonna keep her pregnant for a long time. I think in the next couple of episodes she's gonna give birth, because the way that her stomach looked on her, it looked really fake in my opinion. Like when she walked, it was wobbling. I know it would in real life, but it looked awkward. So I think it was just a temporary thing, and she's gonna give birth soon. But I could be wrong, but I don't know. So yeah, 8 months passed, and this really differs from the comic book. The comic book, they actually are in the prison in winter. So in the comic book, it doesn't skip anything. So this was kind of a big drastic step that they would do for this. But yeah, so I guess for all this 8 months that passed, no one died, because everyone in the group is still there. So you get this feeling that everything was good. In the beginning, you see that they were going house to house getting supplies, and they're really low on supplies. They can't find any food or anything, so, they're looking for a good place to stay, and they come across the prison, obviously. Now, this episode had a really slow start, but it really picked up after that, and that's where it really became a really great episode, near the end-ish. So I don't know, that when you first see the prison, it's ridiculously cool. It's almost exact out of the comic. It looks so comic book accurate. I was really surprised. Everything, if you read the comic, it looked exactly. So that was a really big surprise to me, that the prison was exactly like his. I thought they were going to make it a lot different. They're even still in cell block C. So that was really weird. But one thing I didn't like about this episode is that Michonne didn't have a lot of screen time at all. As you know, Michonne and Andrea are separate from the group. They're on their own. And they didn't have a lot of screen time, and I don't think they introduced Michonne very good into the show. I mean, because I read the comic, I know a lot about Michonne, and Michonne in the comic is a big character. And I mean, for such a great important character. They should have introduced her a lot better. Like, there was no explanation at all. She just came, and it was like she was there already. Like, it almost felt like she was in season 2 for a while. Like, and they're just picking off, but, like, she's, like, right when they show her, she's talking already, blah, blah, blah. So, it's, I don't know, it's kind of weird how they didn't really give her a proper intro. But I must say, the actress that they picked for Michonne is the perfect choice. She looks exactly like she looks in the comic book. And actually, the actress is, like, doesn't have long hair. So, it's actually a wig. Michonne's, in the show, it's a wig that she wears. And it looks like real hair. So, like, I don't know. It looks perfect to the comic. And I really do like the actress for Michonne. I think she does a great job. And actually, with Michonne, Andrea is actually sick in the comic book. And in the comic book, in the TV show, and she's like really sick, so they started moving around. I found it weird that they didn't show the governor at all, because from the previews, from the previews and everything, it showed a lot of the governor. So you're expecting him to show up right away, like they were gonna run into the governor, Michonne and Andrea right away, but you don't see the governor at all. So that's not a big complaint, but it's just weird because all those previews of him, I thought for sure he was going to show up first episode. But other than that, Michonne and Andrea didn't have a lot of screen time at all. Like, not even, like, barely any. So I was kind of disappointed in that. But I'm sure the next episode, they'll explain them running into the governor. I'm sure next episode or the third episode, I'm sure they'll run into the governor by then. What else did I think about this episode? Well, when they got to the prison, I found it, weird that like they were clearing out the front of the prison so they could get in, right? They went into the fences. There's actually 3 fences for the prison. So they got in, they cut the fence, and they like sewed it back together with like rope or something, which is okay. But that maybe that's gonna be a big thing later on, because now there's like a weak point in the fence. Like, the zombies have an opening there, so I don't know. Like, maybe that will play a big part later on, but I found it kind of strange that everyone was helping clearing out the zombies. Like, even Lori was, and she's, like, pregnant. Like, I don't know if she should be, like, doing that kind of stuff while you're pregnant. But I found that kind of awkward that they're all fighting. But I did like how Maggie had a lot bigger role in this episode. She was fighting, she was killing. At one point, Riot zombies come out. They're all in Riot armor and everything. And, Daryl shoots an arrow at him, and it hits his face, right? But there's a guard, so like it bounces right off, and he's just like, oh. And I thought that was just such a great moment in the episode, and that's why I love this series. There's just these little small things that they put so much effort in. It just seems so real and so realistic that it's just awesome. But then Maggie comes and she like pulls up the zombie's neck and stabs right through his neck. And then everyone's like, oh, cool. And then they start doing it too. It was like a really great moment. And yeah, so Maggie was killing zombies too, which was pretty cool. And yeah, so I liked how Maggie had a lot bigger role. And yeah, T-Dog's back. T-Dog's back. T-Dog had he didn't have a lot of role anyway, but I liked how T-Dog he picked up a riot shield and he was bashing the zombies. I thought that was great. There was a lot of zombie kills in this episode. Tons of zombie kills. Too many to count, actually. And then they get into the prison, and they each pick their cells, of course, and Lori starts talking to Herschel, and because she's pregnant, she has some concerns talking to Herschel, because, Herschel's, like, the doctor-ish. So, and she's, like, describing what would happen, like, if she has a miscarriage, like, the baby is inside of her and would die, right? So, the baby would turn into a zombie, and she's like, what if it, like, rips the insides out of me and stuff? And, like, when they were doing that, I was thinking about it, and it's so gross. Like, if I'm picturing that, and it's just, like, gave me such a wrong picture there, but really cool how they're thinking outside of the box and that. But another interesting thing she said was that, like, to Herschel, was that if I'm giving birth and I died during childbirth, don't, like, hesitate to kill me as a zombie. So that was, like, a really big thing. Like, that was crazy. Like, I don't know, like, she was really serious, too. But another really weird thing was that Carl and Beth kind of have, like, a love interest, which is really weird, because they're pretty big age difference there. It must be at least 5, 6 years age difference, because Beth went into one of the cells and was sitting down, and Carl went into and he's like, "Yeah, I'll take the bunk on top of yours," and then Herschel came in and he's like, "No." And it was like such like a cool thing, like just such a cool little thing. It was really funny. But another like love interest was Daryl and Carol. It's really weird. But like, cause they have like a big age difference too. But I guess that doesn't matter. Like to me, it seems almost like Carol is like a mother figure to Daryl, but it's not. And another thing, when Daryl and Carol were talking, they actually brought up Shane. Carol brought up Shane and was like, "Yeah, I don't think Shane could have led us this far," and like that was kind of cool how they like backtracked a little there. But a big question to me is that will they be doing flashbacks? Because a flashback with Shane would be pretty cool, or even a flashback from when it was winter. But I don't think they would with the winter thing, because really they can't really film in winter. I don't blame them for skipping winter, because if they were to film in winter, it'd take them a lot longer to film it, and just a lot bigger of a hassle there. Because it'd be really hard to pull off snow and stuff. I'm glad that they skipped it, but I'm angry that they skipped it at the same time, if you understand what I'm saying. But then the big thing happened. So this is a giant spoiler, so go away if you don't want to hear it. But so they started clearing out the prison so it'd be a lot safer for them to live in. And so they're in these dark hallways, and again, it gave it such creepy atmosphere, because it was really dark, and they're just looking around like with flashlights. They're trying to clear out all the zombies, and they're painting arrows with spray paint on the wall so they know where they are. And the biggest thing that happened here, actually, one more thing I would like to say, when they were in the hallways, these dark hallways, it reminded me a lot of the video game Doom. If you have played Doom, it's kind of like that, like the classic Doom. It really reminded me of that. But anyway, the big thing here was that, so a bunch of zombies came there, and they were having trouble clearing them out, killing them, and Glenn and Maggie were together, and they got separated from the group in these dark hallways. So then Herschel heard them calling him. And big spoiler again, just want to warn you. And Herschel went off by himself to try to find him. And there was a zombie laying down, and it was looked like it was dead. But then it got up and bit Herschel right in the ankle. And man, I felt so bad for Herschel. Like, he's such a cool character, and I love him so much. I really didn't want to see him go. Like, it was enough to see him go in the comics. Like, I don't want to see him go again. But they rushed out, and they brought Herschel out, and this was near the end. So this is where it was really picking up. And they amputated his leg off. And Rick did, and Rick brought out his axe, cut off where Herschel got bit. And I found this really weird, because they kind of did a switcheroo here with Dale and Herschel. In the comics, this happens to Dale. He gets his leg bit, and they amputate his leg off. And since Dale is dead, they switched them with Herschel, and they put Herschel getting bit. So really twist with the comics to keep you on your edge if you read the comics and you're watching the show. So I thought it was pretty cool. And another switcheroo that they did was with Sophia and Beth, since Sophia's dead. And Sophia was kind of Carl's love interest in the comic. So they kind of switched Sophia with Beth in the TV show too. So it looks like they're just switching things out right now, but that's kind of weird. So yeah, Herschel got his ankle bitten. Oh man. So Rick grabbed his axe and he started chopping it off, and I was so surprised. They showed the whole thing of him cutting it off. It didn't show his face and just him hitting and blood squirting. No, they showed his leg being chopped off, the whole thing, and it was so gross. I don't know how this is on TV, on cable, but they gotta be crossing some lines here. But it was so gross. But I really hope Herschel is still alive. I hope he makes it through, because Daryl did make it through with this amputation. You just have to do it fast enough. But by the looks of it, I don't think Herschel's gonna make it, because in the preview for the next episode, Rick is talking, and he's like, "We spilled blood here," and it shows him standing over a cross in the ground. And I'm pretty sure that's a grave for Herschel, because what else could it be? really. So I really don't want him to die. Maybe it's something else. I hope it's something else. Like they run into someone else and he dies. I really hope that. 'Cause I really don't want Herschel to die. But another big thing that happened was at the end when they're chopping off Herschel's leg. Oh, before I say this, I just want to say that this was the first time we seen Rick's iconic axe too. In the comic, he uses that axe so much. He uses this like axe, and that's like one of his iconic weapons. And in the show, he never really used an axe, and this was like the first time he really pulled out his signature axe. But another big thing that happened at the end was that it was revealed that there are live prisoners still in there that are still human, not zombies. And that did happen in the comics too, so I was really excited to see that. And it almost seemed like Axel from the comic book was one of the prisoners there, so I'd love to see Axel in the TV show. And another thing I noticed was that there was a guy that almost looked like Tyrese in the prison, but it probably wasn't. I'm almost 100% sure it wasn't Tyrese, but that'd be cool if Tyrese was in it, but oh well. So thanks guys for watching. That was my review, and just a heads up, I do have a podcast I do with Biggie Prime and Jason Grayson. It's called The Lost Bros, so if you guys want to check that out, it's about comics, action figures, Transformers, video games, movies, TV shows, covers everything. Go check that out on Podomatic, and it's on iTunes. Really great thing that we got going on now. We've been doing it for about 7 weeks now, so we got some episodes up. And yesterday was the Walking Dead was on season 3 episode 1, and we got the Brotherhood together and we did a Brotherhood review night. So we actually reviewed season 3 episode 1 of the Walking Dead with the Brotherhood. And so if you want to go check that out, it's on Podomatic too. So go check those out and leave some feedback here. Tell me what you thought about this review, the podcasts. I just want to hear what you guys think about this, if you want me to continue this. Anything, your thoughts on the show. So thanks guys for watching. You can follow me at unblesseddata on Twitter, and stay tuned for more reviews, news, and just all around great stuff on my channel. So thanks guys, and see you later.